Hi, this is Savannah from Chicken Soup for the Truth or Soul 2, and today I'm going to be talking about the comparisons between two unlikely suspects. For some reason, I see the similarity between people even in different age groups now. They don't have to be from the same era, they don't have to be the same age, they don't have to be the same race. I can tell whether they're related across all those different diameters, and it's really crazy. So, taking a look at Nikki Haley, yeah. Nikki Haley, I believe, was like the former governor of South Carolina. And so they're up there. They're not like this other person that I'm going to be comparing them to's age, nowhere near. But yet I see those similarities. I want to point out the long oval-esque shape that they've tried to create here off of like a rhombus type shape that it was when it was before it transitioned to female. They tried to shave out a female face, out of a male's face. Sort of unsuccessful, I would say. The person I'm going to be comparing them to is an unlikely candidate, Millie Bobbie Brown. How very strange. How very strange that I could even see this, right? They look like they could end up looking like this person when they're older, I would think. Perhaps. Maybe. I don't know. Kind of see it? Maybe. See, they kind of have a different skin tone, a little bit darker. This person is Indian, of Indian descent. I don't think Millie Bobbie Brown is of Indian descent. But we'll never know what these people's backstories are because they don't seem to ever be able to speak one word of truth. I love when they give an interview and they say, well, honestly, to tell the truth, there's literally no such thing in their life as truth. Their entire life is a scripted fib. I don't really like the word lie. I was taught not to use that word. Lie is so intense, though. But it's so true. It's just like, it's so intense. And I'm glad that it's such an intense word because it needs to be used for snakes like this. Just, you see that peering gaze? Do you see a female in there? I don't. Anyway, back to Millie. Or not. Oh gosh, that's the next video. Back to Millie. Yeah. No, I don't see a female here either. See a young man dying to escape, but also succumb to darkness. Slight smirk on the face. Loves the adoration fame, but it won't last forever, and who knows when they plan on getting rid of her. Hate to be so blunt. Yes, whisked away by fame, looking all girly here. Makeup is magic. Now we're back to being a boy. Anyways, it looks like they could be this person's kids, and this person actually does have kids in real life, believe it or not. And, yeah, needless to say, they're both reversed. As, one YouTuber says, it's a Strat Free Martin family. As, one YouTuber says, I believe Hans Wormhat, and he's highly discredited because of a lot of people's misconceptions over his beliefs and ideas and discoveries, but the truth of the matter is nobody's found anything like he has in his videos, so yeah. And I kind of grown to like that terminology when I see people amongst me in my everyday life who look like this, not just on the world stage, they're everywhere. Your next door neighbors, down the street, your teachers, your former teachers, professors, your bosses, your coworkers. The person you run into in the supermarket you haven't seen since you were a child, and you don't recognize them. But it's not because they didn't gain weight or lose weight. It's not a female. Plain and simple. You don't need to see that. You don't need to see that. You don't need to see like the paperwork from the gender reassignment surgery. They're not allowed to show it to you anyway. They took a Hippocratic oath. They took a Hippocratic oath. And that oath they took to that dang Baphomet's penis with two snakes wrapped around it with wings. And they're not going to tell a soul. They're taking all their secrets to the grave. Looks like a poop eater. I hate to be so blunt, but can you just... the foul energy coming off of them. Can you just feel it? Like, it's a straight up dude. That's crazy. And you see the pain, right? The pain, everlasting pain from their childhood. They were probably put through some very, very traumatic events. Again, with a wonky eye. They put through some very traumatic events as a child. So it's not like there's any sense of normality about their life, and there never has been. Just grinning through the pain. Excuse me, smiling now, the pain, but it's the most fakest smile. You see a lot of kids do this when they don't want to smile, and they're not really happy because something ain't right. Yeah, well, that child never grows up after something like that happens to them. That child is still inside of them. They are still there. They're still there. Inside of them. As they are an adult their entire life, they are constantly brought back to those memories. Repeatedly. There's no getting over it. When they make these people do the kind of things that they do, putting them through satanic ritual abuse, which people think isn't real because of the satanic panic, crazed media coverage that they ran in the 80s into the 90s, doesn't mean it's not real. That was them scampering to collect their crackers and cheese so they didn't get busted, get caught in a mousetrap. No, unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable. Now, they've had to inflict this pain and suffering and abuse on their children. Now their children will do it to their children. Her two children are probably on their way to being adults, or they're already adults. When they have kids, they'll do it to theirs. It's a circle of abuse. It's literal. It's real. It never ends. It's generational. They'll never tell. They'll never speak. I'm surprised they don't have a finger across their lips doing the oath of silence. Don't worry, they'll never tell. As they point the finger and cast a spell. Yeah. Anyway, getting carried away. Just looking at them too long does disrupt, your spirit a little bit, if you let it. I kind of did for a second. But, there'll be a day of retribution. There'll be a day of judgment, atonement for their sins. Right now, they're in their own personal purgatory. They're in their own personal purgatory. This person... Yes, this person may look like the fellow governor there when they're older. I do think so. Nikki Haley. They look possessed here, and it's sad because they're way young. Like, they're not even 18 yet. You see that? That emptiness? Emptiness. And on top of it all, this person is a UNICEF ambassador. Do you know what that means? They're more than brushed up on the rituals, man. They're more than brushed up on the rituals. They're a snake, and it's like they were born to be a snake, because I even read that there's people younger than him, who have been a UNICEF ambassador down to the age of 3 or 4, or I think even an infant. I'm like, so how does that work? How does a kid that young know how to do all this stuff that, is so crude? The most unspeakable acts, okay? We're talking eating feces, drinking urine, drinking blood, having sex with dead bodies, necromancy, the having sex, going to, out, that's the whole reason that somebody has to be elected for coroner and sheriff, because these people, they're, like I said, they're amongst you every day. And they get up to things, that, firehouse. I'd be thinking every time I ride by there, why is it so quiet? They're never really outside. They're not going anywhere when they turn on their sirens. Never. Usually to the grocery store and back. To a restaurant and back. Maybe just head down the street just to scare everybody and come right back. And so I wonder, what are they doing in there all that time since they don't get to see their wife, All that time they're in that firehouse. And, of course, in the police station. One time, I drove by on the side of the road. There was a circle of about 25 police just standing in a circle. Now, tell me more about the ritualistic circle. Yes, the ritualistic circle of magic these people do while they're doing their witchcraft. I have no clue why they would be doing that in the police department other than there's a direct tie-in. Now, a lot of these people who come from these families, they end up in the police department against their will. Their parents chose their career, and they ended up being elected officials, move up to a high position sometimes without minimal effort on their part. Again, they cannot talk about it. You will find out when they are dead and you see that headstone. Or more likely you'll see an obelisk, a big giant phallus sticking out of the ground at the cemetery that people think is, I don't know what they think it is, a monument. It's not a monument, it's a phallus. Or you may just see a square and compass on their headstone representing Freemasonry. All dang, square and compasses is an incomplete pentagram. I'll say that again. Square and compass is only an incomplete pentagram. This person's busting at the seams. There's much more to these people than you can ever believe. Much more. And they just gotta smile through it, repping that Israel flag back there. Yeah, well, no need to go into that. Despite whatever their heritage is, they must be a sellout in one way or regard to, crypto. Can't really say that word on YouTube because you will get censored. But yeah, that's pretty much the only way you're going to make it up the ladder. Anywhere down to like Wendy's. I ran into this guy the other day. This person seemed normal enough, but there was just something working in him, preventing him from acting nice as they could. And you want to know? Yeah, most managers are Masons. I'm sorry. Doesn't matter. Restaurant. Oh gosh, don't let it be somebody working on the car. Auto mechanics. Corporations, obviously, again, more appointed positions from abused family backgrounds. And yes, the safety and the comfort is what makes them keep quiet. They like their toys and they like their gifts, and they want to keep them coming. And they don't mind doing whatever it takes. And they're blackmailed. A lot of them are blackmailed. They have a tape of them raping some children or something on the, probably on a tape. People act like they don't have tapes anymore, but most likely they still have tapes because they want to, a disk file, but that's not stable enough. That could get hacked. So if you want to prevent something from getting hacked, make sure it's a stable physical copy. I'd say that they're still keeping like tapes, like real tapes, under lock and key. Somebody's big giant freaking $20+ million mansion, maybe up to like hundreds of millions of dollar mansion, under lock and key until it's decided time to pull out the hoax. I think that's honestly what they did back in the 80s with Rob Lowe. They had that tape done. That tape, okay, that tape was done. They already did that probably about 5 years prior, maybe even before now. Again, uh, I have no clue, but they do keep these, and they have them for appointed. They bring it out at appointed times. Who knows? Who knows? Usually, if somebody's acting up, the main thing that they'll do is they'll do something related to their taxes. Oh, we put a tax lien on them because they didn't pay the tax. They paid their tax. They just ostracized them publicly because they didn't obey the orders. That's all that they did. So, but this is the way that society works, and this has sort of devolved into a very broad discussion on society. But shout out to the movie Society from 1988. Yes, there goes that number again, 88. 1988. The movie Society came out talking a lot about this kind of thing. Yeah. If you have the stomach, it's pretty graphic. It's kind of a horror movie. I honestly, I wouldn't recommend that. You believe in Jesus, you're Christian and all that. Like myself, I wouldn't watch the movie without praying first, because but it's so true. The blackmailing, the gaslighting, the double lives, the secrets, the fake family, the fake friends, the fake jobs, the fake school, the fake, everything fake, 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 whole setup, everything. It's a more digestible version of The Matrix that came out before The Matrix, along with They Live, which also came out way before The Matrix. Those two movies, Society and They Live. You haven't watched them, but I'm sure that you have. So, anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. This is a really, really long discussion. I didn't know I was going to go this long, but yeah. All right, thank you for watching, and in Jesus Christ's name I pray. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.